featuring yours truly. Please leave messages in the comments, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook Live. Oh, there I see White Hawk. Okay. I've got it all, I've got the comments sort of large so that I can really see, because I'm blind as a bat. And for those of you paying attention, there is a new call-in number. Where did my little drink go? Oh my God, here we go. There's a call-in number, and it's called 608 Warlock. It's 608 927 5625. Because I made that too small for me to see. I should have made that a little bigger. Hi, Michael. Hi, White Hawk. Hi, Michelle. And Karen. Hi. So, yeah, the number to call in is 608 Warlock. 608 927 5625. I'm really going to need to make that bigger for me. Or I'm just going to tell you to call 608 Warlock. This is a call-in show. Most of our topics are going to be generated by the call-ins. And there's really nothing off-topic. I'm sort of seeing myself as the Wendy Williams meets Howard Stern meets Joy Behar from The View, with a little bit of that Bob Larson, you know, the Jesus-y talkback guy that, you know, the rest of us would all call in and argue with every week. You know, I want the haters to call. They never call. You know, these people sort of are so obsessed with me and they love me so much in that sick sort of way, but they never call. And let me know if the sound is okay, because, you know, I'm sort of still getting... I've got this whole... I wish I could take a picture of it. Oh, my sinuses are terrible. Hi, Tammy Lynn. Hi, Tess. Hi, Scotty. And, you know, I'm getting everything. I got this whole desk I had made, and it's got iRig keys so I can teach myself the piano, and it's got the iPad, which has my notes on it for the show. Though I have a feeling I'm going to change that to be the call-in studio so that when people call in, I see them in the queue. And then I got my mixer and laptop both on these pedestals that elevate up. So literally it's like this space station setup where I'm controlling the universe. Yeah, Melissa, you were actually the person I was thinking of. It's like, oh, she used to call it, fight with that Bob. But I want the people to fight with me. Melissa, all those napkins never call. Why do the napkins never call? You know, they're all so badass on a keyboard. You know why? Well, partly because I'm crazy, but also, Jesus, I turned this mask thing on, and it's supposed to mask out. The microphone, but it's masking out part of me. See what I mean? Like it's taking out a little bit of me here. Hold on. Let's see if this helps here. Hold on. Come on. I don't want to mask that out. Like, don't take me out. You know, that's really annoying. That wasn't happening before. Now it's taking me. Okay, there it is. Maybe. I don't know. I don't want it to cut me. See, look at it. It cuts off. It's hiding the microphone. It's sort of a nifty little trick, but now it's hiding me. So I'm going to turn that stupid feature off, which means you might see the corners of my mattress or something. I don't know. Let me see. I got these wonderful... what the hell am I going to do here? This is really annoying. This really gets on my nerves. I'm not like a fan of sucky tech here. I really wanted to have this microphone hidden. See what I mean? Like, look, it's like I can turn it off, but then it turns off part of me. Well, maybe not. Well, now there's me. All right, let me see here. All right, I got me. Hi, Ken. Hi, Michael Carell. Hi, Tess. I'm armless. What's better than being harmless? Yeah, no, Angela said my thing is huge here. My drink, not, you know. This thing is supposed to have a straw. And I don't like the straw because then you got to clean it. So I just use like a sippy cup. But then it makes this sound. I call it a Yeti queef. Yeah. So, anyway, So, yeah, I got my little iPad Pro, which has my notes. And I have my laptop here with the comments, and then I got the little call-in. So no, nobody's. I wonder if the call-ins. No, it says I'm here. It says I'm connected. All right. If anybody wants to call in, do people find that was one thing we were sort of going over? Do they find that like letters will help? You know, like when you say 608 Warlock. Because I always find that annoying. I end up trying to look up the real number. And now that I've got it so small on the screen, 608 927 5625. But it's 608 Warlock. It's Warlock. And so this is a call-in show. And, you know, I welcome everybody. Lovers, haters, everybody in between. You know, whatever's going to make the magic go, and anything is going to be on topic. It could be politics, it could be, what do you call it? You know, the pop culture, you know, whatever fancies, but it'll always have some sort of spin of magic and my own personal sarcastic way of talking. And I see a lot of people in the comments. I don't see anybody call. Let's see. Oh, God, why do I know who this is? I recognize the evil number. Hold on. I want to give it a second because then they can hear. You know, there's a little thing that comes on because, hey, I'm with Hex Offenders Live. Yeah, so let's take this. Hello, this is Hex Offenders Live. Is this Shauna Aura Knight?
No.
I knew it was you.
I know you knew it was me.
So this is Whitehawk, everybody. She's been with us since the first age. You know, back in...
Hi, guys. Anyway, it's hysterical when you call in and you get this whole little speech in proper English.
I tried to change it. I wanted to record it. They'll let you record a voicemail greeting, but I don't want fucking people leaving voicemail. I turned off the voicemail, but I want to be able to record. You know, I want to be able to...
Well, I want to hear press 1 for English, 2 for Spanish, 3 for Pakistani.
You never get Swahili. I just want to know why you never get Swahili. Oh, hi, Linda. Where's my fucking baklava?
Who's giving out baklava?
Linda. She makes amazing... Her baklava is as good as my mother's was, but my mother's dead. So unless I want to dig it up, you know...
I don't think that would be too tasty. So let me ask you. Okay, I'm going to start crap today.
That's what we're here for.
What the Sam Hill is going on with everybody and their brothers talking about you, talking about Hex stuff, and how you're bribing every author or every publisher to make their authors talk at your Hex stuff.
That was actually on my WitchCon. That was actually on my topics. I'm glad you put it. Well, it was actually the first topic, so I'm glad you called in. And by the way, we have a call queue. We have a call queue. I know my son is older. I don't want everybody to have to be exposed to all my bodily functions here. No, so how was I going to say? It was on our list of topics here on the iPad that keeps going off, and what is so ridiculous to me, Whitehawk. It isn't just this allegation, and I don't know if it was this. Oh God, what was? They all sound the same. Like Mari Lee Ray. I think it was Mari Lee Ray, and of course Amarella Moon. You know,
I haven't heard her name in almost.
Oh no!
No. And then all of a sudden,
it's always once a year. It's like the Jews. Like, you know how they have the Passion Play that comes along, and then after the Passion Play, it's like, let's get some Jews. You know, this is like, but it is. This is Amanda. Her name is Amanda Parker of Roswell, New Mexico. You know, hey, if you're going to put me on the pedestal, I'm going to put you on the pedestal, bitch. I can't even remember the other one, Kookabell or whatever. I knew her name too, but I couldn't be bothered. She's so, next rate. They're all nobodies, Melissa, all nobodies. But it is like the Jews. Like, they had the Passion Play, and then the pogroms would come after, once they geared all the Catholics up about how bad, this and they killed Jesus, next thing is the pogrom. Once a year, when I start sending out WitchCon really heavily, WitchCon or Hex Fest, these people will come out and go, he's harassing us again. It's like, I'm not harassing you, cunt. I'm promoting my event. I mean, am I not supposed to? I mean, I had to do something to make it, not the failure Devin Hunters was.
Well, what
wait. Danette just says, I heard you were bribing people to watch this show, and we're going to force us to clean your house and then do WitchCon. I mean, give me... Crystal Star Witchery said Amarella lost the roof of her mouth to cocaine. Hold on. That's going on the... See, I can put these things up there on the screen. I love this. A.C. Fisher Aldig. Mark means dead horse in Cymric Welsh. Just saying. I like her. That A.C. She is speaking on British folk magic at WitchCon, and we had a wonderful phone conversation. She and I are very politically minded, and we're not, not all of our views are in the acceptable spectrum of the loony left. And I'm not a right-winger, but I'm not a loony lefty either. I sort of sway somewhere in the middle, and I look at everybody like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? And by the way, if you do want to call in, the number is 608-WARLOCK, and we have a queue now, which means you can listen to the show through the phone as you wait to get in. You know what I mean? So, I am dying. I wouldn't have Sudafed. I never have enough.
I'm sitting here drinking that wonderful mild
Yeti
Queef.
I'm the one that turns you on to the Mio, and you gotta be like
Mio,
you gotta be a Mio bartender. Like, you mix a little of the lemon with the sweet tea, you put like the peach in the sweet tea, and get it all going. And
I got it. They have the energy, the black cherry.
Yeah, I have those.
Drink.
I have those. No, I'm forcing people to call too. I mean, no. So this theory came up. I think it was from Mari Lee Ray, because she said, I know for a fact, and it's sort of like when somebody says,
yeah, I read that.
Someone says, let me share my truth. I know I'm about to hear a lie. I don't want my truth or her truth, their truth, whoever's truth. I want the truth. And the same thing, if I hear, I know for a fact. Okay, yeah, we'll see. So, and then, of course, the ghastly Shauna Ora Knight. I don't even know how. I think the pagan community must just be afraid of her crazy, because she really is she is next level wacko. Like, I'd actually have a conversation with Amaryl Moon, even though I think she's sort of nuts, but I feel like she's reachable nuts. You know what I mean? Like, maybe if we just had a conversation and she realized that all these things she's claimed I've done since she and I had our little spat weren't true. I didn't call Lori Bruno in the middle of the night. I certainly didn't make Lilia Lee go to a party for her husband's death. Like, that didn't happen. There's all these things that just didn't happen. And so, I could have a conversation with her. Now, Shauna, when someone's so crazy that, like, they're beyond, there's no really getting past the crazy. That you're going to have to deal with this. You just, look, I'm a little crazy. Hey, I rode the short bus, made it into a limo. But the point is, we're all a little touched. We're all a little touched. But, no one in witchcraft is fully sewn up together well, perfectly. We're all working in spirit realms and with crazy beings and what have you. We all get our little thing. And, so this thing has now blown up, and you've got authors for Llewellyn, like John Beckett, actually clicking like on all these things, these theories that are right out of QAnon. And I'm thinking, well, wait. So the theory is basically this, that Llewellyn and other publishers, they didn't really name the publishers, but then they kept dropping Llewellyn and Weiser. And first of all, just so you know, Weiser and I don't have the best relationship. We don't have the best relationship. So I don't know that they necessarily would love their, I don't think they care that their authors are there, but it's not like they're going to push them. Christopher's right. People are afraid, they fear the mob. Unless one has real influence, being canceled is a real fear, especially for folks trying to make a living. Yeah, my money doesn't come. My money mostly comes from middle-aged women with disposable credit card income that want psychic readings in Salem or New Orleans. And that's so much of it. Like, Hexfest is 3.5% of our corporate annual revenue. We did it to give back. No, people don't believe it, but that is what it is. We agreed to lose $20,000 a year to keep doing it. And, we love doing it.
You know what? I'm waiting to see if anybody claims the $10,000 that you offered her proof.
First of all, I have a $10,000 standing reward since 2011. It was originally $1,000, but I went up to 10. What the hell? For proof of the word warlock as a traitor to a coven or other witches, as opposed to, generic oathbreaker or Loga, the Scottish.
Right.
But there was an argument in some of the books, that warlock was the witch that betrayed the other witch. Well, that's just ridiculous. The word was used by ecclesiastic authorities. They would have praised anybody that turned other people in. I mean, the whole idea is ridiculous. But I have a $10,000 award with it. 10 years now it's been going on. And 10 years now it's been going on. No one's claimed it. I have a $10,000 reward from when that... what is it? He's the Gods and Radicals communist, Reed Wildermuth, came out and called me and Dorothy Morrison racist and, like whatever. And so I offered, they acted like I'd said something racist on her wall. So I offered $10,000 for a screen capture of whatever I said on Dorothy Morrison's wall that was apparently racist. Nobody's claimed that yet. And now I have a $10,000 reward for a proven contract from one of these publishers that can be forensically proven to be dated before a person agreed to present at WitchCon, because they're now saying that the publishers have contracts. They're all in bed with me, and they have contracts forcing people to present at WitchCon. I'm sort of wondering if one of the presenters just wanted to get Shauna or Mari or one of them off her back and said, "Oh, I'm forced to by contract," and then that became the thing.
It probably was. I mean, because she has been really raking her mouth.
Yeah, but, and people are so afraid of her. I get Christopher is right. Some of these people are dependent. Well, I don't know how. Shauna's on her wall, basically talking about trying to get more food stamps. Like, how is she driving the pagan economy? I don't understand. My husband and I war with the Echo Bee here. Hold on, I'm turning up the... Oh, God, he's got on 72. I can't take it. I got to go down. Can't take it. I'm cooking over here. Because I can't turn the fan on, because the... what do you call it? Because you'll hear the fan. So I got to turn the AC on so I don't just cook here. Now, by the way, I invite people to call. The number is 608-WARLOCK or 608-927-5625, which is goddamn too small on the screen. And this is a call-in show. We really welcome the call-ins. We want this to be very off-the-cuff, stream of consciousness. So this allegation thing of I sent this to a couple people I know that work for Llewellyn, and they're like, this is ridiculous. Naturally, some of these businesses will encourage you to promote your books, but they don't get that specific. They don't talk about, oh, you have to go to WitchCon or you have to go to Hexfest. With our publishing company, we don't ask anybody to do it, but we do guarantee our authors 10 years for 10 years after the publication of their book, they are able, guaranteed a spot at WitchCon and Hexfest, and that they are able to present, at our events. Well, we don't force them to.
Right. I just don't understand how these people who are nobodies, and I mean, they're nobodies. They're, like you said, they're on food stamps. They're,
I've been on food stamps, not
well,
but when I was, I didn't.
Not wrong,
I've been to a soup kitchen before. Well, not to eat, but to get the bag of wax beans and all these other things I didn't want to eat. But like, I've been there, but when I was there, I didn't have this air like I'm driving the economy. I'm begging for a can of wax beans. I'm not driving the economy from that vantage point.
But you didn't stay in that position either for years.
Well, obviously, look at me. I mean, I've had more than wax beans today.
You've been doing caviar again.
No, pizza. Way worse. Caviar's at least low carb, I think. Must be.
Yeah, it is.
No,
it is. Actually.
I was on a carb kick today. Melissa Mayhem says, who the fuck are these people? It's been 30 plus. Yeah, she and I have been around forever. 30 plus years. Who are they? They're nobodies. I mean, they do have a huge online presence, and where they become an issue, not really for me. Like, they're not an issue. They're not an issue. In fact, Brian is right. I have enjoyed a little, I do sort of love watching Shauna's train go off the track. Woo! But what I don't like is that, well, basically, that Laura O'Brien, the Celtic author that believes, anybody doing Celtic and they're not Irish is cultural appropriation. And it's like, I thought cultural appropriation applied to oppressed cultures and not the Irish. But, whatever. She made one of our presenters, had one of them in tears, harassing them about WitchCon in July when they had decided I defended J.K. Rowling, which is ridiculous. I called her insidious. That's not a word you use to describe someone you're defending. So, anyway...
I didn't even think you liked Rowling.
Well, I like the Harry Potter books, and I'm still going to... go to the Harry Potter park. I'm still going to Alice Walker's like pushing David Icke's anti-Semitism. I'm still going to watch The Color Purple. I'm still going to go to Harry Potter. I just listened to the whole audiobook of Mists of Avalon, and I didn't think of Moira Grayland's pussy once. Terrible. The point is that, for those that know the story, and so... Look, we all have our drawing lines in the sand sort of thing, but what I don't like is seeing people harassing our presenters. And so in July, I said, there was two choices in my mind. I was either going to go to Ireland and drop her off of the cliffs of Moher, which is illegal, and then I would be suffering in an Irish prison. That was choice number one, and I couldn't do that, much as I dreamed of it and thought of it, and I could just visualize just going, boop, boo, but that wasn't an option.
Don't do that to the Irish.
Oh, it's just, they don't even allow this hoe at Newgrange, from what I understand. Like, I've got my sources and rumors. I don't even let her, she used to be a tour guide at Newgrange, so mean to everybody, they threw her out. So, allegedly. So, told you I was going to go Wendy Williams. No, so anyways, and by the way, people, call in. I need more than just White Hawk here, fabulous as she is.
Thank you.
No, so anyhow, I hope it lets people call in. Has anybody tried? I guess I don't know how, I've never done it. This is my first time using the new system. Well, in any event, my second choice. You need to drop
some more trees.
My second choice was to create an event with. I said, well, how are they going to attack? 75%ers, and then within 48 hours, I had 75%er. So I decided to make it 100%er. And as Elena Tyrell said on Game of Thrones, mine was a failure of imagination because, of course, they did start harassing a ton of these not all of them, but a lot of them. No one has pulled out. Well, I mean, we had one guy pull out because he lost, or he's getting rid of his internet, and he got rid of his Facebook, and Sarita told me he was very off the grid. Michael Nottingham, who's a really nice person, but just not on the grid. And somebody else had been dealing with some family losses, but no one, I'm not doing community. Other than I'm looking at you, drag queen. Not really happy. So I had Christopher Hughes at the event Hex Fest, and he was one of the ones harassing, and and so I'm so upset. I've never been harassed like this, and I felt so bad for the guy, and so he didn't do WitchCon because of scheduling, and whatever, that was fine. I let it go. Am I too loud, by the way?
Sort of on the phone, yeah.
Well, then I'm probably too loud for everybody else. I'm just going to knock this down just a smidge. So anyway, he couldn't do WitchCon 2021 scheduling, whatever, And so I asked about 2022, and I'm being harassed. And I'm like, okay, I didn't want to be mean. I felt bad. But then he gives Shauna the ammo to go on and say, well, Christopher says he didn't know how terrible Christian was, and he'll never do that event again. Fuck you, motherfucker. I'm not even going to go into who, what, and where, but there are a number of people in the United Kingdom to whom I defended Christopher Hughes. Not as big of a fan of him over there. And I'd say, oh, he's brilliant. He did this new translation of the 13th century Mabinogion. Oh, it was very helpful to Brian's book, blah, blah, blah. Just defending him to people left and right. And it was just... Oh, here we go. I see how the queue works. It was ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, don't be a wuss. Yeah, I'm a little pissy at him now. Because I asked him about it, and he just unfriended me. I'm like, well, fuck you too. You know what I mean? Like, they love him over here, because they love people over here that make up traditions that have nothing to do with anything. But over there in America, I know Melissa's going to snicker at that one. There's people, they love them over here when they create it all from nothing. But over there, they're a little more, well, how are you a druid exactly? You just moved to Anglicy and decided you were. Oh, cool. That's just not as exciting to people over there.
I think one of the parts that really gets me is that when you're in this line, and I know every time I call into your show or one of your shows, I get somebody who's got something to say about it. And I expect that. I expect harassment when I ever get my book published. I expect that stuff that comes from what I call the minor pagan community. I'm not pagan. You're not pagan. We don't have to answer to these people. And
listen, no. It's more than that. It's more than that. It's more than that. When they were criticizing Cher for plastic surgery, I loved her comment. If I want to put my tits on my back, that's between me and God. Like, I'm irritated at the idea that somehow there's this mass accountability that we're all trying to find. I'm tired of the cancel culture. So we've got some other calls coming in, so I'm going to start taking the calls. I guess I don't have... I miss... The Stream Deck used to be able to hang up a call when I was on Google, but there's no way to do it with this new system, so I'm going to have to...
Well, I'm going to hang up so I can listen and laugh.
All right. Love you, sweetie. Talk soon.
Love you, babe. Bye.
Okay. I guess it doesn't just happen like it's supposed to. All right. So, all right. We are going to bring on area code 330. Hello, this is Hex Offenders. Is this Shauna or a Knight?
No. There will be no blood on the floor with this phone call.
Oh, can I have your name?
Listen, you don't know me. I have listened to you.
You don't know me.
My name's Tina.
Oh, hi, Tina. That
and
makes it
I have listened to you since you started your podcast with Lori Bruno. And I have just, kept, off and on. I find you and listen to, and you're a brilliant person. You're talented and you've got so much potential.
Oh,
Why are you wasting your time with all of this he said, she said stuff? You're obviously extremely successful.
Because I'm gay.
Nothing. It does. What
No.
does that have to do with anything?
Because we faggots love gossip. I love gossip. Look, I have a very busy life. I accomplish more in an hour than most people accomplish in 12. And when...
I know.
No. But really, you've got to understand, sometimes I have to engage because they took Nene Leakes off of Real Housewives of Atlanta. And that was where I got my... No. Once Nene Leakes went away, I didn't know what I was supposed to do, the way that I was going to get my drama. No, the point is, look, no, what it really boils down to is this. Like I said to a friend of mine a few weeks ago, I said, I know that it looks a certain way from out there.
It does.
Wait. I ignore more than you will probably ever experience in your entire life in a month.
Really?
Like, there are so many things that are going on out there that I see or somebody sends to me, and I don't respond to them because they don't rise to the level. But when my inbox is filled with messages from people feeling harassed for presenting at my events, or someone, you mentioned Lori Bruno. Well, when she said that I called her in the middle of the night and dragged me into court, it's not like I could not go. And then I
remember that.
And then I had to deal with it. And of course, when I got it thrown out a year later, there was no media to vindicate me, though I did have witnesses. And let me tell you, I could.
Okay, so are you vindicated from that completely?
Well, never because. Well, no, in the sense that, okay, my whole point is perception is reality. So as long as the world thought I was calling some little old lady in the middle of the night, that's all that mattered, except the corporation did go up $500,000 in the year after, and she lost her store. But who's counting? Right. I'm not a scorekeeper, but the fact is, $500,000 in 1 year after that, and every year since until COVID. Now, that publicity was great. I was the villain, but it was great.
Right.
But here's the thing.
But the thing is,
but no, I'm not. I'm not. Hold on.
I don't want you to be a villain.
I'm not.
You to be
I am what I look. As Alexis Morel Carrington Colby Dexter Rowan said on Dynasty, I'm who I am, and that's why I'm where I am. Don't you ever forget that. But listen. So here's the thing. Now, there's things I could ignore, but these things I won't ignore. I won't ignore good, innocent people being attacked and being hurt by a community that should know better, especially when they're doing it for me. If someone took time out of their life to appear on mine and Brian's event stage, and then they're attacked for it, there will be consequences. There will. But here is the thing. Wait. Here's the other thing. Here's the other thing to understand. They said, well, you seem like you enjoy it. Well, of course I do. Why would you enjoy it? I said, well, okay. Didn't you ever watch Mary Poppins? Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, the medicine go down, medicine go down. Well, if I'm forced to deal with conflict, you can push it on me like Bruno did. But when I went into court that second time, because my lawyer was sick the first time, I mean, it was... it was deliciously epic. You just don't even know. You had, one friend of mine got up there and testified and said, she told my 21-year-old daughter to, I don't like to swear, to grease up his cock and let him fuck her up the
Oh, my
ass.
God.
And that was my daughter. She was 21. And this was the best. And up on the witness stand. Up on the witness stand.
Oh.
You can ask Utu, he was there. You can ask Angela DeFazio, she was there. The whole bunch of people were there.
Oh.
And then he used this. She used this word. I didn't understand the word. It was astroglide. Like, and I'm sitting where the lawyer sits, and I'm like trying to force myself to fucking laugh, you know. And then, no. So then her lawyer comes up, and he was like this bad lawyer from like a Lifetime movie of the week, and he's like, "Did you call this number?" And I said, "Sir." I said, "This list that I obtained by subpoena, this list is, this is meant to show that the only calls that she got between 2 and 3 a.m., which is when she claimed I called for 4 years, this list shows that the only private name and numbers are from a Comcast landline, and I would have to drive 29 miles away. Why wouldn't I just buy a burner phone?" First of all, why is he asking me about calling numbers out on the incoming call list? "But did you call this number?" Well, I love serial mom. So I'm doing the serial mom. I'm looking at the lawyer, and then she's 10 feet behind him. You can sort of see her in the eye and him. And so I'm looking at him in one eye and her in the other. And I go,
All right.
"Sir, why would I call this number? This represents her entire client list." So I'm just saying, I demolished her. And I did it with humor. Because that's the real way. So yes, if I am forced to deal with conflict, you bet your ass I'm going to have fun with it. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to be the biggest fucking drama queen going, and I'm going to masticate over every morsel of it. Because guess what? They won't come back for more.
Well, here's what I see. I mean, okay, and I'm only seeing like a spectator's view. I don't see the behind. I don't see all of it. I understand. I worry about your health. I've always liked you.
The only reason my health sucks.
All of this drama's going to kill it.
No.
You're not getting any younger.
No. Listen to me.
You're going to have a heart attack.
No, I neutralize that. My cholesterol is great. Everything is great except what I eat. Like, my only health, I have type 2 diabetes, not because of Lori Bruno or any of these other people. I have type 2 diabetes because I eat too much fucking pizza. And the reality is, you know what? When I was doing well before COVID, and then it's like, look, I got no vice. My fucking pool heater doesn't work. I can't go out in the pool and enjoy the wealth. And so, I eat bad. No, and I appreciate the concern. Look, I don't ever fire the first shot. Never have. I
understand.
And half the time,
some comments over the years.
Half the time, I don't even fire till it's the third or fourth shot. And in the case of Bruno, there would be like 10 things. I usually weighted about 10 things. There'd be a dig, and then a dig over there, and then there was a dig over here, and finally I'd say something. And now, it's not. I don't really engage because there's. What's left to work with.
Right.
But these people they're not only attacking good people, innocent people, they're attacking Llewellyn, they're attacking Weiser, which is okay. They're attacking publishers. They're just attacking people, and I don't like it. And I have a right not to like it. And so, and I think it's unfair. And I appreciate the worry. I love when people worry for me. Send me good thoughts. Send me Godiva chocolate. Send me send me money.
Like I said, it's been years. I've listened to you for years, and there's times it gets too much, and it's like I can't, and I'll step away for a couple months.
That's the world.
I check in on you.
No. Okay, let me tell you something. Sean Poirier and I could suck the air out of any room when we were together because the energy was so much. And so we had people, we called them, the October people. Because, rather the magic day of September the 15th. Because there was this day, God, I'm warring with literally we're warring over the temperature of the house. Alexa, Set the temperature to 69.
Otto's keeping the temperature between 68 and 70.
Thank you, bitch. No, so here's the thing. They would always come back around September 15th because people couldn't take a steady diet of us. Do you think I'm not aware of that? Like, I am a very intense person. I am not everybody's cup of tea. I'm okay with that. I resigned myself a long time ago that, you know, it just, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, answer me this then. This one question. You and Lori Cabot, I mean, back in the, podcast days, you disliked her for a period of time.
Oh, this is a good question.
And, okay, well, there, we don't have to get into this, but there was, that's, a lot of your podcast was consistent, you didn't like her for whatever reason. But now you're friends with her. I'm assuming. I mean, just going
very,
by
very
what
close
I'm seeing
for 10
on
years.
social media.
Very close.
Is there ever a chance that you will ever reconcile with Lori Bruno?
No, and I'll explain why. Because she did try. When the Grimassis did that curse on us in the woods, and her included, she called up our store manager. Maybe the Grimassis did the phone calls. It's like, I said, Tim, no. There's not enough easy lube to make that cock get in the back door. Like, here's the thing. I have very few people that I will not forgive. Jody Cabot had half of Salem thinking I was a child molester, and I forgave her. Mind you, she tried to do it again, and I didn't forgive her. But, but the point is, I very rarely throw anybody away, but when Lori Cabot called in 2011 to thank me for saying something nice about her on the Salem News, of course I was going to, and Bruno was horrified. She was sitting right there, and when I hung up the phone, I used what somebody called my super bitch power, which is when I don't know I'm being a bitch. And I said, but Lori, it's like Obama calling. You can't hang up the phone when Lori Cabot called. And also, what I felt very strongly about was that Lori had a huge following. I had a pretty big following, and all of them were tiptoeing around, afraid to go to each other and see each other. And I thought, well, wouldn't this be so much easier? Bruno doesn't have that following, number one, but that isn't really... The difference is that Lori Cabot is able to see the forest for the trees. Lorelei and I actually got the two of them in a room. And Lori Cabot sincerely made peace with Lori Bruno. Lori Bruno claimed to, and then, 2 weeks later, she's back to trashing her again. And so that is right there. Like, I am willing to forgive anybody. And there were a number of times in the early years of this feud with her where I would, send out another olive branch and do this and do that and do this and do that. And, her son and I never stopped being friends, which drove her nuts. But what was difficult was every time I threw out another olive branch, she would bite my hand. So eventually I had to realize, okay, Lori Cabot is a visionary. So she saw the potential for a greater alliance, and it's never broken in the 10 years since we made peace. Whereas I believe in my heart of hearts, because I will always have love for Lori Bruno. I'm going to admit that here publicly on the air. I will always have love for her.
No, thank you for saying that.
However,
I feel better about that.
Well, I'll always love Jody Cabot, and frankly, I can't believe I'm about to say this. I'll probably always love Lily Lee too, but all three of them are in this zone that can never come back because it's not about love. It's about they are too crazy to not try to destroy me again. And I can't have that. Right. Like, they get in a snit, and then they want to ruin your life, and it's like, whereas Lori Cabot's not about those things. You know what I mean? So, I knew... I've known Lori Cabot for 31 years. You know what I mean? You're talking about a long time, and you learn to know how people are. That wasn't my first rodeo with Bruno. We had gone toe to toe in the late 90s when the whole controversy with Lori Cabot and happened, and and I was on Lori Cabot's side then, and I saw a vindictiveness and a relentlessness that was never going to stop, and it hasn't. So it's like, I could never hate her.
How much, though? I mean, how much of it do you separate between personal
you don't want, no, of course nobody wants somebody destroying and saying horrible, not true things. But then there's that aspect of what it does to your business, too. I mean, how much of it is you're protecting yourself and how much of it is you're protecting your business?
Do you mean the $500,000 we went up the year after that restraining order?
Well, yeah. I mean,
none of it affects me. First of all,
you get a bad name in town. I'm gonna want to.
We are the most successful shops in the city, along with Enchanted and Crowhaven Corner, where we are at the top of the tops.
I'm glad to hear.
We're actually beating last year's. Well, I mean, hello. She hurled this restraining order, but she's the one that lost her store, not me. Yeah, people think I'm a bitch, but a lot of people like it. You know what I mean? A lot of people like that I stand up for myself. Now, most of the time, I'd rather be nice about it. Honestly would. But I can't have people around in my life that live for vindictiveness. At least with me, I try to have a sense of humor and, I do what I do. But, and I appreciate she has her fans. I don't hate her. I just can't be around her. You know what I mean? I can't be around Jody Cabot.
Right.
I won't, Lily Lee tried to get back in about 6 months or so ago, and I said, look, I was nice enough to write back, and I said, can't believe you'd ever, this woman tried to destroy everyone I care about. So did Bruno. One of her ministers stalked a 58-year-old disabled woman of color in a walker through the streets of New York and took pictures of her. And put them, and that's when she finally took that man, Ronald French's resignation from her church. But he put pictures of her in her walker in the middle of New York, waiting for the bus to get home. And the point of that was to say, I've been with you the whole time. So either French or one of his minions who got the address followed her throughout her day so that they could prove they were with this woman in a walker. And the picture is of her sitting in a walker. It's still out there on the internet. And that was sort of the place where I was like, okay, if this woman is willing to allow her minister in her name to terrorize a 58-year-old black woman in a walker, well, then we don't. Right. Let me tell you something. Lori Cabot's never done something like that. She never would do something like that. It isn't in her wheelhouse to even conceive of being so vindictive that she would allow someone to do something like that in her name. And when you go to that length, and I wouldn't say something this, like someone could sue me, this is all evidenced. These pictures are still out there. Yeah. I have proof of his ministerial credentials, like when he had them. I have all of the documents and evidence of this. So when I say what I'm saying, I can back it up. And, when you're willing to terrorize a 58-year-old disabled black woman to get at me, and Witch Dr. Utu testified in court that she said to him on the phone, I will destroy everyone around him if that's what it takes to destroy him. Well, how do you negotiate? How do you negotiate with something like that? You don't. So you move on.
You walk away.
Right. I just need you to understand. I know everybody would love.
I mean, I'm only judging by all of the podcasts.
Well, that's fine, and I get it. People would love if I'd hug it out with her, but I can't. You know what? I always loved Jody Cabot too, but I'm not hugging it out with her. Her mother and her don't talk. They can't come to terms because she's so nuts. Like what am I going to do that's different? You know what I mean? Like I have to at some point. I have to at some point surrender to the reality of what I'm dealing with. That, okay, this person, I have very few people, and I've named all three of them. And I think there might be one or two, there's a couple I haven't named. But the three people I just named are people I actually still have some love for, but I can't be around that. I'm not going to be around that.
I really wish it wasn't that way. I'm sorry that happened. I truly am. I enjoy you. I enjoy, when you're not doing this and you're actually like talking witchcraft and witchy stuff and occult stuff, I get a lot of pearls.
This is the show. This is the show. This show was done so I could be Howard Stern meets Wendy Williams. It's going to be magic. But But here's the thing with magic. Magic has boundaries. We often do magic in a circle. The very essence of the core of witchcraft is to create a boundary between the worlds. And if you can't learn to create boundaries in your life, how can you expect to do them in the spirit world? There's your magical tidbit. I'm going to take the next call.
Thank you, Christian.
But thank you.
I love you, and you
too.
take care of yourself, and thank you so much for that little magical tidbit.
Yeah, you gotta help these kids here. Well, I don't know if she's a kid, but thank you for calling, and we're gonna take the next. Oh, I got quite the queue here. I don't know which one is, but I'm gonna keep going through them. I'm hoping Linda's on here somewhere. Linda, put your area code in the chat if you can. That way I'll know where you are in the scheme of things. No, I mean, it's hard to get into these things, and you know I'm gonna name names. It is hard to get into. There's a lot of emotional pain to go around on all sides of these issues, but I did not call this person in the middle of the night. If I were going to call a person in the middle of the night with foul language, I would introduce myself because I want the credit. Just saying. Just saying. So, we're going to take the next caller, which is area code. I think I actually took them in the wrong... No, that's the right one. Now I can't remember the area code because I just closed it. Oh, no, it's area code 831. You're on the air. What's your name?
Aren't you supposed to ask me if I'm Shauna Ora Knight?
Oh, is this Shauna Ora Knight?
Yes. Yes, it is.
You've done something. Are you trans?
Yes.
On hormones.
Don't be transphobic.
I'm not. I'm just asking if you're on hormones. I don't know. You don't sound like Shauna.
How do you know what Shauna sounds like?
Because I've Skyped with her, and I had Brian creep through the bedroom door and go, what is that thing you're talking to with the Coke bottle glasses? I'm just saying it. No, trust me. I know what it sounds like and what it looks like up close.
I'm probably the only 831 area code you get a call from anymore. Hey, it's Uncle Birch.
Hey, what's your question? What's your call in? What's your drama?
Well, I was kind of joking about it in the chat room earlier, but my entire wakening life I've spent in the craft, and as such, most of the other men that I knew were gay. My teachers were gay. My priesthood was gay. It's kind of normal, where I grew up, I guess, or just in my life. And it always occurs to me when I hear all this stuff, it's like, you said some snarky shit. You said some terrible things. You admitted that. You owned up for that. Maybe it's stereotypical, but I think they're homophobes, or they don't know any gay dudes, dude, because that's like literally almost every gay dude that I've known. They don't like you because you're a bitch and you're a cunt.
Well, I mean, Jesus, when they say, oh my God, I used the word cunt, I'm like, that's like a gay man saying hello. Like, hello?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't know. It's like, hey, cunt, what's going on?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Look, I mean, this has been some deep conversation. I didn't expect to go this deep.
All you ever did was say some bad stuff.
Well, it's like my husband said on his video he did last week. He goes, the only thing my husband's guilty of is being rude. Look, that Amanda Parker, she accused me of something I didn't do, and if I did do it, I would have bragged about it. But more importantly, well, because here's the thing. Stop with this stupid lie that reporting a fake Facebook account is doxing. I didn't report a fake Facebook account. I wish I had now. And if it was still a thing, I'd be reporting her fake Facebook account every day. I'd have somebody on the staff assigned an hour a day to just sit there and report her fake Facebook account. Oh, God, will you shut them up? So... Anyway, the fake, it's like, it's not doxing. If you get a notice saying you have to disable your account or you need to go in and put your real name, and you put your real name, then you doxed yourself. I didn't dox you. trust me, if that was still a thing on Facebook where I could report fake names just to be annoying, I would do it because I'm annoying. But like, do it. I wouldn't feel bad about it. I'm not sorry for that. You know what I don't like is this sense of entitlement that these people have a right to decide for the rest of us who should be canceled, who shouldn't. Let's raise the mob. Like, I'm not accountable to these people, and I never will be.
Well, that's the thing. Most people are. Those people.
No, they're not.
One of
They
these
think
little
they are.
fledgling pagan communities, you know.
No, they're not. They're
Everybody needs
not.
their
They're
little
not. I
communities.
disagree.
You don't have to have a little
No, they
community.
disagree. They are not accountable. She is begging for one more fucking leaf of food stamp. What power does she have? It's all psychological mind fuck. Like, no. When I was dirt poor, I didn't give these sort of people power over me, and they never had it, and I never gave it. So they never had it, because I never gave it. If Shauna Knight has power over someone, it's because they're giving it to her. That's a bottom line. That's the bottom line. Because you know something? If she was the only motherfucking social group out there, I'd live in the woods. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is no reason why anybody should feel beholden to mob mentality. And if they are, then they're choosing to be. You know, my friend there that's listening, A.C. Fisheralder, I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but the lady that wants me to get a wood stove, I told her I'd burn the house down. She's got to stand. I mean, she's got some views, man. You know, they like to, they call her a Trumpy. I mean, she's not a Trumpy. She's a libertarian. I'd be a libertarian if it weren't for their positions. You know, they're too isolationists. But I agree with a lot of the Libertarian Party. And I am for lower taxes. I'm pro-gun, pro-military. I mean, I'm not pro-rocket launcher, though if I had one, I'd probably like it. But the point is that she has to stand in the face of this super loony left community. And she's able to do it. She's able to stand and do it. And she's got a book deal from, she has a book from Llewellyn. And, she's got a strong personality and does what the fuck she wants. And, no, I reject the idea. And with respect to my friend Christopher that posted, and I agree there are people that feel that, I reject it. I reject it because if I had to depend on Shauna Knight's social graces for so much as a fucking crumb of cookie, I would go to the soup kitchen. I would die first. Like, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I don't think that we have to be accountable to these community bullies. We choose to be. Well, I don't choose to be. I don't choose to be. Do you choose to be?
No. Well, all
go.
I know is that when you first made me aware of this thing, I was already blocked, so this person knew who I was. But Marta was able to look, and the first thing I heard is with this, I call them quitches, the conspiracy theorists. And the first conspiracy I learned of was when both you and myself were apparently too broke to pay $3,000 for a hacker to dox somebody's address, and we had to split it. Like we couldn't Google the bitch.
First of all, I know who you're talking about, and that's that Cougar Bell. First of all, about her. Number one, I was going to pay $3,000 to somebody just to write that time zone conversion feature on WitchCon, which says what time zone the classes are in if you're in Australia or somewhere else. Number one. Number two, she's out there saying he got my address because I ordered from Hex. No, I have her address, her business address, because I sent her a bunch of free books because I thought she was poor. And she was later like, I come from money. Well, I didn't know that. I thought she said, oh, I don't have those books. And, I thought she couldn't afford them. I misunderstood. I sent her a bunch of books. I was being nice, no good dude. But that's how I had her address.
To hell.
Whatever. You know what? Here's the thing. I think each of us has to decide to whom we are accountable. I'm accountable, number one, to me. And trust me, I'm my worst, as narcissistic as I sound most of the time. I am my worst critic. I drive myself the hardest. I force myself to do what needs to be done. And I am accountable to my husband, to my dogs, to my family, to my close friends, to my husband as my high priest, to my high priestess, to the gods. Those are the things I'm accountable. To the law. I'm not accountable to Shauna Knight. No matter how many people she rallies to her Facebook wall, I will never be accountable to her. I'm not accountable to Amarilla Moon or Amanda Parker or whatever. I'm not accountable to these people. I never will be. And neither are any of you. I cannot believe anyone in the world thinks that they are somehow at Shauna or a Knight's beck and call. This woman she makes Lindsay Lohan look sane and stable. Like, she is literally the greatest train wreck I've ever seen in my 33 years in the magical community. She takes the cake. I thought Sarah Ann Lawless was the cake. You know, Craig is right. You are accountable to the gods. I'm accountable to the gods. That is number one. You know, because guess what? You know how that goes. And to your spirits, your ancestors, and those things. You know, but you're not accountable to random loudmouths on the internet, no matter how loud they are. It's like they think if they scream just a little more loudly, somehow we're all just going to be, you know, oh, yes, Shauna, whatever you say, Shauna. Let me look your pussy, Shauna. Come on, Shauna. I want to look at life through the lens of your Coke bottle glasses, Shauna. I mean, give me a break.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
The loudest argument is the weakest, man.
It's loud. These people, I mean, I'm loud, but I don't ask anybody to be accountable to me unless I'm paying them. If I'm paying you, then I'm going to be like, hey, I need you to do this. I'm paying you. You know, like with the store. You know, as people are on my payroll. I know I can hear Marta go, I'm not on your payroll, bitch. She's a good editor, man. If you ever need an editor, Marta Carell there is incredible. But like, you know what I'm saying? When you hire a fucking gardener and they don't show up, or they cut down the tree that you've loved your whole life, without asking, they're accountable to you. Then that's accountability. Yeah. Accountability is not this crap. Like, this is crap. You know what I mean? This is you must be accountable first to yourself. If you can live with yourself and what you have to deal with and the, I don't know what the consequences of what you deal with. I think it was Amarella that put up this meme that said, it's not cancel culture, it's consequence culture. I would rather it be consequence. I can deal with consequence, but people want to cancel people forever. And what I love is they want to cancel me because I made a rude comment 6.5 years ago that referenced rape. But these people will go do pagan ministry for 5-time rapists. Llewellyn's got a book out. Was it Paganism for Prisoners, or Magic for Witchcraft for Prisoners, or some sort of thing? And you get all these pagan people doing prison ministry where they'll go in and meet a multiple rapist to hand them a chalice and let me give you the love of the goddess to you, that you've, raped 10 women. I make a fucking nasty remark and I'm supposed to die forever? Fuck off. Not happening.
We tried to do prison outreach for a while there, and all the prisoners we ran into were Nazis.
Oh, yeah, I don't want to deal with them. Love you too, Melissa. I just saw Melissa's going to bed. Well, we're going to take another call here because I'm starting. I love that we have this queue. This is Q. Thank you both for calling in. We have a queue, not like QAnon, but like, your queue, your little line, your queue. So area code 207. I don't think it worked. Hold on. Oh, there it goes. Area code 207. You're on the air. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Joe. I'm calling from Maine.
Oh, hi, Joe.
I grew up in Salem.
Oh, fabulous. What's your question?
I'm curious on the subject of bullies. There's one bully in particular that's related to both the Lauries. There was an incident in 97 with her accusing her of having a gun.
Oh, that.
Do you know what bully I'm speaking of?
More to the point, does she know me?
Supposedly she knows you, but you know.
Oh, I know all about her. Oh yes. Well, no,
Do you?
when she accused Lori of that back in '98, I was on the side of Lori Cabot, and
Yeah.
I found out that this woman, Janet, was
Yeah.
actually secretly working with the born again Christians, and that's how my friend, tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I'm going to be podcasting with Pastor Phil Wyman, who's my right-wing Pentecostal minister friend, and basically we're going to be making fun of the Q-tards, him from the right wing and him from the Christian perspective and me from the witch perspective, and how these
Yeah.
Q-tards are, infiltrating. And that was how he and I became friends. Is that I called him up and I said, "You now have an opportunity to prove to me, Phil, whether you're a truth teller or someone that will lie for Jesus." I said, because I want the truth.
Right.
I said, they're saying that Janet was at this church, only to hear her daughter sing. But I find this message board thread with the Pastor Harvey Brown called the New Wine Message Thread. This was 22 years ago, 23. And I said, and it says that she was there renouncing witchcraft. Yet my friend Sandra Mariah Wright, the author, with Simon and Schuster and Leanne Marama, that Sandra went to Bruno's house, and there was Janet in a tracksuit celebrating Lammas or one of those things, Mabon maybe, the autumn equinox. And so, it was all very interesting to me. I gave it to Lori Cabot's lawyer, and the next thing you know, Janet dropped the case. So they didn't love me that much. Bruno had left this horrible message on my answering machine. I made a CD out of it. I still have it. It's got club music in the back, Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Oh, it was great. And so years later, when that whole thing came about in 2015, where I was accused of making phone calls I never made, Janet came in and lied about me in court. And then the year later, when it was all supposed to happen again, she had clicked like on something that exposed a good friend of mine's daughter. This picture on the internet. It was only 5 years old. And I don't know why Janet liked the thing. But the mother was very mad and said, "What do you got?" I said, "Oh, funny you should ask. I sent one of my minions." Actually, no, it wasn't a minion. It was actually a very good friend. But she went down to the Salem Public Library because Janet's a smart person, had a lot of money and a lot of influence. And so she had scrubbed from the Salem News website her $92,000 insurance fraud conviction. So next
Yeah,
thing
but
you
she
know...
blames Elizabeth for it. She blames her daughter. She does terrible things.
Oh, she has so many
Sorry.
claims. So anyhow, hey, suddenly that made it all over the internet, including the rip-off report, which never comes down. And next thing you know, she's calling up my store manager going, "Oh, Tim, tell Christian I'm not going to testify against him tomorrow. I don't want any part of this." Of course you don't, bitch. My lawyer was ready to go. Like he had that whole thing about her with the insurance fraud. That was all ready to go spew across the courtroom. I was like, let's go.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't like to have to fight
she's a
that.
bully.
Well,
She's a
she
bully
is. Well,
from
she
way back.
right. Well, she came not
She's
for nothing.
a
She was so bad.
psychopath.
My mother worked at the apple seeds factory in returns, and like people there would talk about this. She's a mean. But you know what? It is at the end of the day, she failed. They failed. Lori Cabot's doing great. She's 87. She's teaching her classes. She's magical as she ever was. We talk a lot. She's a beautiful soul and a wonderfully magical person. And none of this has ever touched her. And it never will. So,
No.
we're going to still, those of us that are doing what we're doing are still going to be doing what we're doing. Because that's what we're born to do, I like I said, I always have love for Bruno. Janet, that would be a no.
No.
That would be another person that will be never getting back through the door, never 1,000 years. It could be. Well, oh my God, she's this super Trumpy, and when the corona,
Yes.
wait, when the coronavirus first came out, like this is how batshit she is. When the coronavirus first came out, and then Trump started calling it the China virus, Janet's on her Facebook going, "There'll never be Chinese food in this house again," and I'm thinking,
Oh my God.
The fuck does that? I mean, first of all, like Chinese food in America has anything to do with people eat over there. That was her
right?
response. Crazy people. Yeah. So, yeah, well, whatever. She is a bully. And, but as I said on my wall the other day, I'm a bully of bullies. Like, don't come for me or don't come for...
I was drawn to that, Christian.
Don't come for people...
I happen to be the evil one's niece. And she tortured me so many years of my life.
And what is your name?
Jill.
Oh, Jill. Okay.
I know this. I have her in the freezer, so she can't mess with me. But she's just wretched, and I couldn't help but call
she is.
in.
Honestly, when I think of... There are people, like, if I think Shauna Knight is the craziest person in the magical community I've ever met, I think Janet would have to be the most evil. The meanest.
Absolutely.
Like, the meanest. And I sometimes you wonder whether...
She's not she's a Christian this week, a witch next week, Christian this week, a witch next week. She doesn't know what the F she is because she's such a lost.
Oh, here's what she does
character.
know. She don't want to go toe to toe with me. She's sort of pulled back. No. Gone. Because I don't. Here's the thing. It's those who when you stand strong, you survive it. Lori survived her. I survived her. And it's, I sang at her wedding. I later forgave her for the stuff that happened in the 90s. And, her current husband, I sang at their wedding. I was the singer at their wedding. And, and I was kicked in the teeth. But here's the thing. When I think about because Janet's, she's formidable. So when I think about people like Shauna, it's like, Bruno, formidable. I don't want to, I'm very blunt and I talk about what I talk about on here, but I'm not saying it like I want beef with her because she's formidable. Who wants to sit there and battle back and forth with her? But they are formidable. These people like Shauna, they're not formidable. And that's what I wish I could convince some of the people that they've harassed, Christopher Hughes or whoever is so afraid of them. They're not formidable. They're not, you shouldn't be afraid of them. They are not formidable. They have no power. They don't have any influence. I'm going to take the next caller, Jill, because I think it's who I think it is. I'm hoping it's who I think it is. And you have a wonderful night. And
you too. Take care.
I wish this came with buttons. Like this doesn't have like I could click a button. It's sort of rudimentary, but it's the only thing I could find that had a call queue, and I really like it. So area code 865. You're on the air. What's your name?
Hi, Christian. This is Ivory Witch.
This is okay. This is the call I was waiting for. So one of the Oh, we're going right into it now. Oh, the Wendy Williams. No, this... Well, okay.
You said something about accountability?
Oh, yes. Accountability is a wonderful thing. So there was, to sort of give the foundation of this, a good friend of mine named Tracy Frashy, who is a third-degree high priestess of the craft, was... she was posting last August when she was in Hex Fest at one of the classes. And this certain crew of people came on and started harassing her. Now, Tracy had been posting about this event for months, that she was going and sharing posts, and it just, no one said a word. Then they see that she's actually there, and they just all jump on her at once, and I'm thinking, this woman paid good money to go to this event, and you're going to ruin her fun? Like, I wouldn't do, if you were at some event, Gaia, if you were at some event that, this was your fun and you were getting something from it and it wasn't people I like, I'm not going to go on your wall and be, because it's just rude. I don't want to rain on somebody's fun. So it's just rude. And one of the people that did this, who has been kind of dogging us off and on through the years is this woman named Sophia Bowen. And she's a priestess, I believe, in Ireland, I think she is. And here's the thing with Sophia. You know, she started out trying to question, you know, my husband's lineage and credibility and in the craft and all of this. And then I find out, and this is before I even knew this person on the phone, then I find out that she had, you know, in the craft, you know, you have, you know, you often hear, and I don't think I'm breaking anything saying this, but, you know, you have women working with men, and, you know, the cross sexual polarity and what have you, and you have what's called a magical working partnership, which is rare because most of the men in the craft are gay. Just saying, most of them are gay. So it
is true.
I do think part of the reason, I am of the opinion that if we brought the word warlock back, the straight dudes wouldn't all be running to Asatru and you'd have more dudes to fuck. But that's just my opinion. I think some men feel emasculated by the word witch. So, yes, a lot of them are gay. And so when you have a magical working partnership that is also sexual in nature, it's sort of like the unicorn of the magical community because it's so rare. And so basically, when you have that, to me, if you were going to attack it, well, that's sort of like a blasphemy, is it not? It's like you're basically taking this. So, tell us exactly what happened with you and Sophia so the audience gets a sense of what I'm talking about here.
Okay. To give you a little backstory, I had been in the craft for a number of years, solitary, and then spent several years as a pagan minister with a church in Memphis, and then moved to Knoxville to be with a priest who actually misrepresented what he was from the get-go, but that's beside the point. So we spend, from about 2002 on, we spend all this time going back and forth to Nashville to receive training in the Alexandrian tradition. And after we have completed our training, which is another story in and of itself, we're on the verge of building a coven. We have 3 initiates and a responsibility to them. And during this time, my priest, my husband, who I will not name, because... Oh,
so you were married. I wasn't sure if it was a boyfriend or...
Yes, we were married.
Oh.
We were together 11 years and then married. So we were legally married only a little over 2 years. But we were together for 11 years before we got married. And I did not want to get legally married. He wanted to get legally married, and he was this staunch monogamist. And I left a polyamorous relationship. I lived in a household with 2 men. And I left that relationship.
Why?
To come and be with him. And because he was of the same path. I wanted a companion on my path. That was important to me. So after we had initiated these people and were getting ready to start the actual training of these initiates, he is finishing his engineering degree. And one of his electives was a class in Celtic mythology, which offered him a 3-week trip to Ireland. So he, and I was excited for him. We both wanted to go to Ireland, me more than him. He's actually not Irish at all in any way, shape, or form. He's almost completely German. But I have ancestral ties on both sides of my family to both Ireland and Scotland. And it was a lifelong bucket list thing for me to go. But because he got to go through school, I was happy for him. I was so excited. Send back lots of pictures. You got to do everything. You got to, So once he finds out that he's going, this was sometime in January of 2013, he starts messaging, unbeknownst to me, witches in Ireland, one of whom turns out to be this white cow. That's what I call her.
What did you call her?
The white cow.
Oh, you mean Sophia Boann. Same thing.
Yeah. Boann is the white cow goddess. Anyway, during that time, he went to Ireland for 3 weeks, and on the basis of these 3 weeks, decides that he has fallen in love, but doesn't tell me. Being,
his wife,
you know,
who was with 11 years before marriage.
I have a polyamorous past, so I certainly understand loving more than one person at a time.
Just not behind your back.
But yeah, he decided to do this behind my back and didn't tell me. And then while he's over there, he sort of disappears off the radar. And a lot of money from our checking account goes missing.
Oh, I didn't hear this
like,
part. Oh, this gets even better.
Yeah, I said, where are you? What are you doing? Why aren't you answering me? Tell me what's going on.
What is he buying?
And he stopped. Yeah, he was posting to Facebook, but somebody was taking these pictures of him at these sites. And I'm like, so who's he with? Who's his tour guide? Later, he tells me that she was his tour guide. Before, he tells me that she was actually his lover while he was over there. But he comes back and he thinks, you know, we've been together by this time almost 13 years, and he thinks that he's just going to come back and things are going to be normal. Well, you know, he disappears off the radar while he's over there, and I have to threaten to contact the school to find him because he's supposed to be staying in a hostel with a bunch of other students from the United States.
I think it's fair to call her house a hostel. I mean, imagine how many people come in and out of it. I mean,
yeah. We won't even go there. But he decided that was the cheapest way for him to do it.
I did say on my wall that Sophia Boann's lineage papers begin, you know, her British witchcraft lineage papers begin with the header "swipe left." Just saying. Go on.
Which site are you referring to there?
Well, you know, like, what is it? Like, you know what? I've never used those things. No, like, you know, like Tinder, you're supposed to swipe left. Like, hers is swipe left.
Oh, yeah.
You know, she uses it like a dating service. Oh, okay.
I get what you're saying. I just wondered which lineage were you talking about, because she now has both.
Oh,
she
don't
was
they all?
initiated Alexandrian sometime.
You got to collect these things.
Yeah.
It's not enough to just have one. You know, it's like Lay's potato chips.
Well,
you got to have a whole bag of it.
You know, if you're called and you find what's right for you and you take initiation to that path, you're sort of like, I mean, that's a vow.
That's a whole other discussion, but it took me 27 years to get initiated, and you don't see me looking for other one. I'm just, okay, I like this. Let's do this. I don't have the time.
Well,
God, I don't have time to one.
Well, not only do you not have the time, it takes a lot of energy to properly, I mean, I know this because I still kept up my herbal studies and so forth.
Well, yeah, especially
and astrology and tarot.
Especially if you're using your magical social circle as a sexual Rolodex. I mean, you know, like my God.
Yeah, I think he sort of learned that trick from her. I mean.
So let me ask you. So did he finally? So you're a magical partnership, which means you're not only a romantic relationship of 13 years, but you are using the sexual polarity of your relationship to create magic and to lead a coven. And she who is, and maybe she looked down on it because she was Gardnerian and you were Alexandrian. I've often wondered what her motive was, that why she would not respect a high priest and high priestess of the craft. Why would she look?
Because she was Gardnerian and they think Alexandrians are less than.
Well,
that's the only explanation.
Regardless, it's disgusting that she would take a magical partnership. It's sort of like, to me, in a religion for which that sexual polarity of God-goddess is so fundamental, I would think that breaking up a magical working partnership would be among the greatest of blasphemies to those magical practices.
Well, they say that there is what is said, or there is the law, and then there is what is done. And apparently, if you decide that, you're going to do something that is against craft law, which according to craft law, if you're, working with someone else's spouse, not let alone someone else's magical partner, if you're working with them on a temporary basis or for training purposes or what have you, you're supposed to conduct yourself as brother and sister. Because the craft often causes great feelings of love between working partners.
I do want to clarify one thing, though, Gaia, because Thalassa Verte is someone I know in the real world here that is a priestess of it. She said, Gardnerians don't think Alexandrians are less. I think most Gardnerians nowadays do respect Alexandrians, but I honestly don't think Sophia Bowen respects anyone. Like, I don't
Other than herself, that's probably true.
I honestly believe, I think if she had found, first of all, I think if she had met the D, and that D, meaning Dick, if she met the D and it had a Gardnerian label, I don't know that it would have stopped her, frankly. I don't think it would have stopped her.
Oh, no. I think
she a hoe.
No,
she
I don't think
she
so,
a hoe.
She a hoe. Yeah, a hoe is a hoe.
She a hoe. She a hoe from the dough. Yes. Hoe.
Well, a hoe is a hoe, and I have spoken with people who had her as a guest in their house, and the women or the woman of the house did not want her back at their house.
I just want to get into the amount of toilet cleaners they must have had to use, just as an aside.
Well, I guess what the thing that I regret how much I lost my mind over that. I really do.
I would have been worse. I would have been worse. She wouldn't still be here.
It was
that would have been worse.
At bottom line, Christian, she has 4 children, and I don't harm children.
Why would you? She does, I'm sure. I mean, can you imagine what they go through?
My husband had 4 children.
Well,
my husband also had 4 children. Those children needed their parents.
No, but my point is, you,
no matter what I wanted to do.
She harms her children. Imagine how many people they've had to call daddy. They probably get confused.
Oh, Jesus.
They probably think the name is like, a badge or something. Like, oh, hi, daddy. Oh, hey, daddy. Like the mailman. Oh, hello, Mr. Postman.
There's a lot of
daddy.
A lot of smaller details that, flesh out the picture. But the whole reason I had a bad taste in my mouth for the Gardnerians, and I will say that there are some Gardnerians that I know and love very much. They're
Same
wonderful people.
Yeah, but that's what you've got to keep in perspective, honestly, guy. Because seriously, my husband's been painted as this enemy of Gardnerians. Look, I love Jason Mankey. I adore Thorne Mooney too. Like, there are so many Gardnerians I absolutely love. I don't dislike somebody because they're Gardnerian. I just like somebody because they participate in mob mentality, and whether that mob has the word Gardnerian or Alexandrian or ATR or Shauna Knight. Like, I don't like that mindset, but I don't think being Gardnerian makes somebody that, or Alexandrian. I get that you've encountered the bad ones. First of all, I've encountered more of the bad ones. I've had many Gardnerians, but I refuse. Okay, just like there are 25 million Americans believe in the QAnon theory. My friend Pastor Phil is terribly worried about the.
For what it's worth, I'm not one of them.
Well, no, I get it, but my friend Pastor Phil, and we're talking about it on his podcast tomorrow, of how devastated he is at the number of Christians who are embracing Trumpism and QAnon and all of this. And through it all, I always say, Phil, you define Christianity to me, not these people. Like Thalassa Verte here, she defines Gardnerian. Tracy Fasci defines Gardnerian to me. Thorne Mooney, I refuse to give the people that are behaving badly the idea that I see them as the authority. I refuse to give them that satisfaction. No, I prefer to see Tracy and Thalassa here, and Thorne and Jason Mankey and Ari Mankey and those people that I feel are living up to some kind of great principle, and say, that's who I see as Gardner, not these people.
My opinion was probably colored more by the fact that most of the ones that I encountered were not living they weren't living in an authentic way.
Well, they're not witches, not to me anyway.
Well, magic users maybe. Not witches.
That would require. That would require.
Maybe that sounds a little bit.
No. That would require talent, darling. Magic user requires magic.
Well, I haven't seen any.
Just like in Shauna's case, food requires food
stamps. Something like that.
But, so, let me ask you, so did you finally, the two of you, break up over this person?
Not.
Because our listeners don't know the story. I only know parts of it. I'm finding out most of it for the first time.
Well, the thing is, we managed to actually talk and work things out and figure out that we were, in fact, we were going to try and work through it. Like I said, I have a polyamorous background, so aside from the fact that he lied to me, that was the big sin as far as I was concerned. Not that, because I'm sorry, men, I don't know what it is, but their egos require them to cheat at some point. I'll say most of them.
Never.
Not all
I've
of them.
never.
It's just I haven't found one yet that it wasn't at least tempted. But that's beside the point. We worked what I thought through something really. We dug deep trying to do this, because he didn't understand what was going on with him either. He's like, I don't even understand this myself, how and why I feel like this about her. And, it had all the markings to me of someone who had been, I don't know, he disappeared. There was a large sum of money that disappeared. He began
hello, and why didn't you
erratically.
address that?
He was never a drinker while we were together, but from what I understand, that's all he did after we split up was drink. But
well, was he with her when he was drinking?
No, I don't think it.
I was going to say, who wouldn't?
I think it was because he destroyed everything he had worked for something that wasn't.
Well, I've never been drunk a day in my life, and if I had to spend more than 5 minutes in a room with Sophia Bowen, I'd probably be an alcoholic. So I'm just saying.
Well, they definitely had a severe falling out. I don't know the details, don't really care, but the reason
I thought she became a lesbian.
Split up over this. The reason, she's. I think she's always been bisexual. Her sexuality is irrelevant.
Oh, okay.
This wasn't.
Well,
wasn't
just
about,
so you know, darling, nothing is irrelevant on this show.
But the reason that we broke up was because she messaged me after he told her he didn't want to see her anymore. She messaged me, and she said, I understand you're pissed. You know where my inbox is if you want to have a go at me. And I'm like, the gall of this bitch. Even if I were the type of person to engage in an illicit affair with a married man, I would never, and would hope that
She
ho! I wouldn't.
Ho! Like Santa Claus. Ho, ho, ho. Ho.
I would never do that. Well, she basically said, I'm in Rob's life. I have no intention of going anywhere. Deal with it. You have the
Wait,
choice to do it
wait.
gracefully.
Okay, wait. I'm trying. Brian said, Christian, can you not keep using the C word on the show? You're a priest. I'm trying. Okay, now let's see the feeling. I'm trying not to say the C word. I know I've already said it at least a couple times. I'm just really.
She's a twant. She's a twant. She's not quite.
How? Wait a minute. So she basically told you to suck it up, and she's gonna be around your man. Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
she
Oh,
said
she
if
would.
craft-
Oh, no.
if craft is truly personal
No.
to you, then
I
you
would have
should
gone
be
out.
able to-
No, I would have gone out to Ireland. I would have had Laura O'Brien in one hand and her in the other in the cliffs of Moher, and it would have been like, wee. It would be like The Good Son with Macaulay Culkin, only nobody gets saved. No, there's like. Okay, so she basically. Can you say that again? Exactly what she said about the man and being.
She said, I'm in Rob. This is a messenger, and I still have it. I'm reading it. Okay, this is July 22nd at 1:39 a.m. Our time, my time.
Tell
I don't
us.
know what time of day that was.
The ladies want to hear. The ladies want to hear. The girls want to hear this.
Okay.
We want to hear.
She said, I'm in Rob's life. I have no intention of going anywhere else. Deal with it. You have the choice to do it gracefully, but that's up to you. If craft is truly personal to you, then you should be able to understand that it's not about your ego or to play games with. And I'm like, my ego?
I put Izzy McDermott's comment right on the screen. I'd have cut her. No, where is your... I just want to do a brief shout out. Izzy McDermott has, I think it's called the Conjure Shop, and I always get it wrong where it is. I think Oklahoma, but it's really in Nebraska. Pretty sure it's Izzy McDermott. She has a wonderful shop. She does classes, and all sorts of great people that I know have presented and taught at her store. And she's going to be doing WitchCon 2022. I don't know her very well, but everything I've seen of her, I've always liked. It's like one of those people you admire from afar, but you just you see them and you say, oh, I like the work this person's doing. And I did want to give her a shout out, but yeah, her comment, I'd have cut her. I mean. Seriously, I don't.
Oh, I wanted her dead.
I don't ever want to hear.
I wanted her dead.
Oh, she's in Omaha. Okay, I can never compare. She's in Omaha, and somehow the comments weren't going through. No, I just want to say, I know you thought you were being crazy. I know I heard some people. I don't even remember who, but the rumors being, oh, she's crazy. Bitch, you ain't crazy. You sane. Because I'd have cut a hoe. Like, this is a. So somebody just wrote, I'd have cooked the dumpster duck for the audacity. I mean, come on. I want to ask the ladies in the comments, like, okay, do you think this woman's crazy? Like, if somebody did that to you, man, and they were your magical partnership, you starting a coven with them, you were sharing magic, and you were creating magic and teaching students the wonders of the craft and the magic, and this hoe come along, like, I'm just saying, I don't think you're crazy. I think you're sane. I think most people I know, like I'm waiting for the comments. I'm thinking most people I know, that would have been some, like, you can understand, I grew up with, like, my mother's best friend's biker name was the Queen. That's my niece Angel that you see a lot, her grandma, who died in a plane crash in 86 because she was trying to fly the plane herself under the bridge on I-95. And my father was one of the biggest pot smugglers on the eastern seaboard. He was a drug dealer with a gun. He was not afraid of anything except my mother and her best friend. One chased him down the street with a cue stick, the other with an axe. I'm just saying, you're not crazy. I grew up with biker bitches. I'm just saying. Oh yeah, Monica Dustin wrote, I'm putting these up on the, I'm putting them all up on the thing. If you got a real good one, I'm going to stick it up on the screen. I just saw, I would have gotten medieval on her ass. I'm putting them all up on the fucking...
I never actually got to meet her.
Thank God.
Never got to meet
I
her.
hope her people are watching this. I'm putting the fucking comments all over the screen. Throat punch.
I see that.
Baseball. Oh, here we go. Linda O'Connell. And she'll do it too. Let me tell you something. I know Linda. She would do it. I would, hold on. I'm sticking it all up here. This is all for you. This is what these people think of you, Sophia. I just want to make sure that you're really soaking this in.
Well, what she did to my marriage is, from what I understand from studying her associations and listening to people, First of all, she likes to tell people that she's so sorry about how everything happened with my marriage and everything. But
thanks, cunt. Like, I'm really.
I mean, I've not blocked her. I've not blocked her on Facebook. She can message me anytime. But I don't believe the bitch is sorry. I think she took what she wanted because it served her purposes. And her purpose was to create a new downline in America. That was her purpose. She wanted empire.
Oh, I've got the whole screen. I got the whole fucking screen covered with all the shit. Oh, I don't even have room for more, and they're still posting them. Belladonna, Taste for Toads,
my
Down
favorite.
the Water Drain.
I like the one that says "Tie her titties tight." That was great.
Oh, I got them all on the screen. Fuck you,
She doesn't have
Sophie.
enough titties to tie up.
No. She has me blocked because because you know me, I'm that bitch. I tagged her, and I said, Sophia Boyan's lineage papers begin with the header, swipe left. No, I've got all these fucking comments on the fucking screen. I would totally answer Greta. This is what the world really thinks of people like you, Sophie. Well, no, there was one person, Talassa said, if somebody ran away, if some man ran away, they can have her, whatever. Well, I get it. You don't necessarily want it's not about wanting. It's not about wanting the man, Talassa. It's not about wanting the man. It's that this woman has no respect, not only for romance and the classic, bonds of marriage and love, but she had no respect for the priesthood. She took a magical partnership and set about to destroy it. And that is what makes her, in my opinion, and I know this is a word you're not supposed to use often in the craft, but I look at her doing that as an oath breaker. Like, I think for her to do that is the greatest of blasphemies. I'm just saying.
She had the nerve to tell me that she said, I've told you before, and lots of other people too, Rob is an adult. He makes his own choices. He chose not to tell you. That makes it his responsibility. I don't feel any responsibility to what has happened between the two of you. I do hold you responsible for your behavior and your false accusations of me. I didn't accuse her of anything that was false. I swear, I promise.
Bitch came into your inbox saying, get used to my pussy. What do you think you're going to do? She came into your inbox and basically said, get used to my pussy. Come on.
Basically, yeah.
I refuse
and I told her,
to kowtow to this bullshit.
He said, I can't deal with this between the two of you. And I said, well, then you should have kept your dick in your pants. She should have known better than to open her legs to a married man. To begin with, she's poly.
Oh my God! Wait!
Okay?
Wait! Because they took Nene off Real Housewives and all like that. Close your legs to married men. Close your legs to married men. Oh, I love that.
Exactly.
Andy.
Unless the wife knows,
I just have a message.
Okay,
not that he'll ever see this, but
that's between those people.
Andy Cohen needs to bring Nene Leakes back, or I'm never watching Housewives of Atlanta until he brings the Nene back. There's nothing without... Life doesn't exist without Nene Leakes.
I don't watch television for that. It causes me too much stress.
No. Nene doesn't give me stress. Nene gives me life.
Most of the commercials... It's funny. Most of the commercials go over my head now. You can tell everything. The ad campaigns are, written by 14-year-olds.
Yeah, I'm surprised somebody said Lorena Bob at his ass. Well, he was mean, too. He was horrible to my husband. He was horrible to me, and I didn't even know his ass. And it's like, you're an asshole. You run after Stank.
What did you just say?
I said, he's an asshole. He was mean to my husband and me. Like, during all of that.
Yeah.
She wasn't the only one mean. He was mean. It's like, you running after Stank pussy and you're being mean to me? Ugh. Put down the tuna can.
He had the nerve to tell me that nobody in the Gardnerian community, because at that time I was in Salem, I was in Danvers seeking initiation, Gardnerian initiation, which is a whole other story that which was fallout, and why I had such a bad taste in my mouth. Because the gossip mill was running. I know you say you love gossip.
No.
Well,
the bad taste in your mouth was because he brought... No. The bad taste...
gossip mill is worse.
The bad taste in your mouth was because he brought her pussy back to you. and then kissed you, and then her pussy was there. Sorry, I had to do
Well,
it.
I hope she liked the taste of mine the next time she was with him, because he didn't stop his husbandly duty when he came back from Ireland. So, I'd like, maybe she wanted to think that she was the only one, but I wasn't the only one then before he went to Ireland, So, of course, I found all of that out later, but that's beside the point. But I did tell her that she could have him.
Well, good. You know what? We're all better off without these types of people. I mean, that is the one point that Thalassa made, that, it's like, Medea said it on one of her movies, not the movies, it was one of the plays that Tyler Perry does with Medea, is, let folks go. You know what I mean? Let folks go.
Absolutely.
Because these people they're not worth our love and magic. And, so naturally you're better off. But it's just disgusting that that people put this person, they put Sophia Bowen on this pedestal of this noble priestess. She a hoe, not a priestess. And it's not about, look, it's not slut shaming. If you're a slut, be a slut. But it's the betrayal, it's the dishonesty, it's the deception, and then it's rubbing it in. And it is the disrespect for initiation and magical partnership and the power of that polarity that is created in magic. I'm going to take the next call because I think I know who it is, but I'm not sure. But I want to really thank you, Gaia, for coming on. You are a high priestess I deeply respect, and I want to thank you for sharing your story, on a serious note, because I do think...
Thank you for giving me the platform to actually say my story, because I've never done that before.
Well, I just think these people, they've had a good run. They've gone around and they've bullied and they've bullied. Well, now I'm here, and I'm bullying the bullies. Like, they're not going to get away with this anymore. I've had enough. Like, now they're harassing presenters and they're telling people where they can present. The buck stops here, darlings. The buck stops here.
I saw your offer of reward. I can't believe that nobody needs $10,000.
Because
I promise you, if I had heard or seen anything like that, I would have snatched it up.
Of course, it's all a lie. So thank you, and we'll talk online. And I guess I should be returning them to the queue so they can still hear the call. Area code 845, you're on the air. Is this Shauna Ora Knight?
Absolutely not. It's Crystal Madison. How are you, honey? Somebody had to stop you. You dropped the word cunt twice since Brian asked you.
Oh. So what's shaking?
What's shaking? Nothing. I unplugged from Facebook, as you know.
Yeah, I was wondering where you went. I'm like, somebody asked me how you were, and I'm like, I don't know if she's mad at me. Like, I haven't heard
Living
from
my
her.
best fucking life.
I don't know where she is.
Every time I go to get back on, I see drama, and I'm like, nope.
Yeah, it's been awful. Has anybody been mean to you for presenting?
I've seen. I did. What's that?
Hasn't anyone been mean to you for presenting?
I don't think anyone could be meaner than I could be. Not that I'm aware of.
I can attest.
Why would they be mean to me for presenting?
Well, they've been harassing all sorts of people for presenting. Oh, yeah, there's this huge thing going on.
Really?
Oh, yeah. That Shauna Knight, there's a bunch of them. They've been vicious to some of the presenters. Vicious. Really vicious.
That's terrible.
Yeah. I mean, nobody's pulled out over it.
I mean, do they want to present? Is that the problem? And they weren't invited? I don't understand.
No, it really started with... So basically, what really sort of kicked it off is I used the word WitchCon because I called my friend Carol. She owned it. She had done one once. And I said, do you mind if I use it? And she said, no. And she goes, but but Devin Hunter asked me in January, and he and Laura Tempest Acroft were going to do something with it. And I said, well, I like her enough. She presented at the event, but if she's in bed with him and he's got me blocked because I defended Yesha Matthews, who I adore, and, he, excuse me, I said, if he has me blocked and Storm and Chaz have me blocked, like, why am I going to ask them, hey, you're going to eat that? You're going to eat that domain? First of all, they didn't have the domain. Neither did Carol. It was owned by someone else, and it was for sale for $2,700. So I thought, and just as an aside, Tess Hudson and I'm going to get it right this time, she and Craig are from New South Wales, and said they're currently dogpiling on Charity Bedell in one of the Facebook groups. Well, because she's a new author. They think, we can hurt this person because she hasn't found her footing yet. We're gonna pile on her. Well, she's a tough girl. You're not gonna dissuade her. So I took WitchCon. I bought it for $2,700. So Devin and Laura ended up doing the Witch's Sabbath, which I didn't love the name. I think Brian probably likes that name more than he likes WitchCon, but he didn't like WitchCon. But if I had
is catchy.
Well, if I had let me tell you something. If I had Witch's Sabbath, I still would have sold more than them because they didn't promote it. I mean, the only one that promoted it at all was Matt Oren, but he does so many book posts that how do you see him? So I guess it's just because it came around and Utu had this great idea of making everybody have their profile picked. Well, not making them. I don't want to say that. The contract. Everybody has to put their profile pic. This would be great if everybody put their profile pic as WitchCon. So next thing you know, Devin's posting and Matt's Matt didn't post, but they're both unfriending people or unfollowing them left and right. And in Devin's case, so far, it was only people of color, which I thought was kind of weird. In Chaz and Storm, and they're all unfriending anybody, presenting or associated with me and all of this. Excuse me. And so, I kind of said something about it on last week's show, and of course they all shut up, because Laura had posted this. I would love to do a business seminar to teach event planners, not to screw people over or whatever. And I'm like, oh, no, you didn't. I thought she was nice, so she had to act like I screwed her over with the name. I spent $2,700 for that name, and I asked the one person I owed anything to. So next thing you know, Shauna Knight comes out with this huge, passion play of crazy, and Chaz and Storm are all over it right from jump. So I think they got into her inbox and made the whole thing nuts. I think they really set this off. Laura, Devin, Matt, Storm, Chaz, because I've heard from numerous people that the Witch's Sabbath didn't do well, but that's not because of the name. That's because they didn't promote it as well. We're already over 400 participants, and we're capping it at 1,000, and at the rate it's going, I think it's going to hit 1,000 before the date of the event. Good. So whatever, that's because we focus, I might take a little time and focus on this drama because it's sometimes funny, but it never, what they don't understand.
Handle it well.
Yeah, but what they don't understand, it never stops my work. The work always goes on. They'll just hurl themselves into all of this and do nothing else. I'm like, work.
Well, I said to somebody tonight, if there's anyone in the world who could take bad press and turn it into something successful, it's you. I've never seen anyone else. Maybe, not maybe. There's no maybe about it. Besides Cabot.
She can do it too. Oh yeah, no.
Who
do you think taught me?
Totally awful said about you.
Who do you think
taught
me?
An extra $500,000.
Well, I was telling them earlier about the court date and how I'm looking at them going, this is their entire client list. You know what I mean?
It's Bruno. Oh my God.
Was that big? Well, because somebody called and they were like, well, why can't you be friends with her? Do you think you made peace with Lori Cabot? Do you think you'll be friends? I'm like, no.
Oh, no.
There is a difference.
No.
It's there's a difference.
You can't, and I found this out with her the hard way. You cannot, when you have somebody who is so filled with hate,
That's what it is.
I've never met somebody so consumed by her hatred for you.
Lorelai and I put Lori in a room, and Cabot really sincerely, forgave everything. Bruno pretended to, but she just kept, not that there was anything to forgive. Cabot never did anything. Never responded in the 52 years Bruno's been stalking her. Just never responded. Right. But it was never sincere with her, and that's, I told her that. It's not that I hate, I'll always well, part of me hates her, but part of me loves her. There's a mix of emotions there because she was in my life. But
there's no love on my end.
but I couldn't have her in my life. It's like Lily. I'll always have some weird love for her.
I didn't have the relationship with her that you had. It was, you know.
Right, and I'll always have some.
Try to get the two of you to make peace.
Right. I'll always have some.
I distinctly remember you saying, you know, she's going to turn you against me. She's going to paint this picture. And I'm thinking to myself, now my mistake was like, well, you know, she's a sweet little old lady. Like, how much damage could she do?
Just wait.
Oops. Quite a bit, it turns out.
Ask Starry and Ravenhawk. You know, how much damage. And, no, that's the thing. You know, this... I am so... You know, I just had a conversation with one of the people out in the Pecan crowd that was really loud and all that. And I said, look, I'm always willing to have a conversation. I talked to Amarella Moon. I think she's a little crazy, but I talked to her. Shauna, too crazy. You know, I sort of know. Like, Shauna's like Lily Lee. You know what I mean? There's sort of like, I'll always have this place in my heart somewhere in that John Waters loving black pit that has a fondness for Lily Lee. But she tried to get back in 6 months or whatever it was ago. And I said, I actually responded, you can't possibly imagine you'd ever get back in. Like, you're like a train wreck. You know, like, when you know someone...
I blocked every account she had so that possibility would never, you know, that door would never be opened again. You know me. I don't do second chances. I'm one and done, and she got two chances from me. And
I do tend to give 5 or 6, but the point is, you know, it's, and often for bigger reasons, or, you know, community trying to make life easier for all the people in the middle, but at the same time, you know, you reach a point. She's one, Jody Cabot's another, Bruno, there's a list of them. I just can't. It's not.
I understand.
Even if
to the choir.
All of my personal issues aside, as a business person, I would be putting everyone that works for me and Brian, that depend on us for a living, whose food on their table depends on the success of our corporation. I'd be putting all those people in jeopardy to entertain the ridiculousness of this bullshit.
No.
Oh, no. Oh, no. And thank God for Monica said you give too many chances. You know, Brian is great in that regard.
You do.
Yeah, but Brian's great in that regard because he's more like you. Well, he's even worse because sometimes they don't even get one chance. Like the Devin and the crew, like he never liked them. He just never liked them. So it was like I couldn't get past the initial, like, you know, oh, they got to do something and one and done. There wasn't even, it was a none and done. You know what I mean? It was like none and done.
Right.
He's the ice queen.
I've had some situations that I certainly acted in that way as well. But, you know, what do you call them? My projects?
Oh, we all got
I try, you know, I do. I try to see the good in everyone. And, I mean, I think we're, what? You're up on 6 where you said I've told you so.
Yeah, how many of these?
Listen.
How many of these? How many of these?
6. Well, I think I'm like 6.
How many of these? I'm like, and you know, I don't just.
Because I'm like looking at the person, I'm like, there's got to be some good there. Like there has to be, and you're going, Crystal, no.
Have I ever?
Like,
yeah, but wait.
Look.
Have I ever abused that? Like I ever said somebody I don't like that you shouldn't like? Like there's people you like that I don't like. And I don't say, because there's a difference. They might not be somebody that I gel with, but they're not bad news. You know, there's different kinds of people. Right. You have people, this person, you know, if we see each other, we're going to be like, you know, I said it again. You know, that's going to be us. You might have a great relationship. They might never have screwed you over. You know, I mean, okay, Penzak. I don't know that I'd call him bad news. A lot of people like him. He'll be fine for them. You know, I don't care for him. You know, I think he's kind of sneaky behind the scenes, and I don't like it. But, you know, am I going to tell other people, you know, he's tried to hurt some really close friendships of mine. But it is what it is. He is who he is. I'm not going to tell people, oh, Crystal, that one's bad news. Because, hey, if you have him in an event, he's going to make you money. People are going to like it, and he probably won't screw you over. I don't imagine that happening. So there's an example of, okay, I don't like this person, but they're not bad news. You know, and then there's these ones that are like...
You've never abused that.
No,
ever.
If I say they're bad news, if I say you need to move from April to May, I'm just saying, if you need to move to May, if the month of April just got way too big, and there were too many dinners that you had to attend in the month of April. And there were just, and there were too many trips to the donut shop in the month of April. Then we need to move forward to May, because May's a much better month.
Duly noted. Oh, my God. You're awful. Wonderfully awful.
Oh.
No, but yeah, that's another situation where you were right. So,
well, look, I am what I am. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. There's people that
I know, and I've told people before. I'm like, look, anytime he's ever warned me about somebody and said they're going to do this, and this, they did exactly that. So,
well, here's why.
Yeah.
Because as much as they love, Gabriel on the chat was saying, he looked at some of them and all the people felt personally abused. Tell me on the voodoo doll where Christian Day hurt you. You know what I mean? Like they've all. Well, here's the thing. It's not about me. I mean, I just happen to be the person in the moment that they can grab at. I don't take it personal. It's like the witch trials. All those girls wanted to insert themselves into a story. So they saw a yellow bird or they saw a demon. They insert themselves into the story. Half of these people talking about me on Shauna's wall, they've never heard of me, but they see this thing going on. Oh, they've demonized.
Well, I did have somebody send me something, and there is one that I do recognize that I blocked her a long time ago.
Well, my point is
that me that she was there chirping.
But they come on there and they will literally create this whole scenario of me that never happened, and I get the sense in many of these instances that these particular individuals I'm talking about don't even know who I am, but they see a story.
No.
You know what I mean? They see this story, and there's this long narrative on Shauna's wall, and they're all this, and I want to go in. I want to be part of the story. So let me, Christian, raped me inside the laundromat, inside the dryer. We got trapped in there, and it just fell in. I'm just saying, they just insert themselves into the story. I can't take it personally. Because I don't really think it's about me. I think
it's difficult not to sometimes, though.
I think if it was somebody else on the chopping block, they would insert themselves into that story and create a narrative where they were part of it. It's what happened in the witch story.
It's the wrong narrative. And there are some people who may disagree with me on this, but I don't subscribe to victimhood.
Well.
Okay, that's a huge thing with me. Okay, and any women that may be listening, we were goddesses at one point. When did we become victims? When did we start wearing that badge? If somebody hurts your feelings, well, at least you can feel. There's some of us who can't anymore. At what point was it okay to just? I don't understand. I mean, I've been seeing this for years, particularly when they're talking about you. You have one who's a very talented artist. There's another who's a very talented writer, and yet I don't see them applying that pain or projected, whatever it is, into their work so that they can have their own.
Who's the talented artist?
Platform. Well, I'm not going to.
Well, can't you give me a hint? They all start to sound the same after a while.
The one you've been lamenting about all night. So I know people who have commissioned her for work. I don't know her personally.
Yeah,
I know
wait.
I'm not really sure.
Are you really trying to tell this audience that you think that amalgamation of cheap?
I think anyone. Listen, if you can draw a stick figure, you have potential.
Oh,
if you can
come
feel
on!
There is some chance.
It's made with cheap drugstore nail polish. I had to sit and think, who's she talking about? That's an artist. That. I will give Shauna Knight one tiny little compliment. She does seem to have a good sense of color. But it's drugstore nail polish. Like, give me a break. Okay, let me put it a different way. And God, I might hate the answer.
My point is, if she applied herself in the same way.
Okay, would you put the things you've seen of hers on your wall?
Well, I don't own anything of hers.
Well, then there you go. There, she says it answers the question.
I mean, would I? Depends. You and I have a different opinion of art, so clearly.
Ugh.
I mean, I'm not big into the jewelry. I mean, I've seen some of the pieces.
It looks like the
few
CVS
years ago, she was
drugstore
creating-
counter exploded on it. Like, oh. And it all looks the same. It's sort of like, remember the movie The Brady Bunch, and everything he did looked like the same house? Like he does a gym, it looks like the house. He did like a hotel, it looked like their house. Everything looked like their house. Like her stuff all looks the same.
Well, so did Monet's, and he's, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
His
okay,
use
no,
of
what we're not
pastel.
going to do here is compare
So,
that.
I'm not saying that she's Monet, but
We are not going to go there. Like, we are not going to compare that. You are not, we did not just compare Shauna Oranite to Monet. Monet didn't have a Walgreens. We, you know, this. Oh,
I love getting you worked
I'm
up.
going to have a nightmare now. Oh,
All the years of trolling me on this.
oh, you got me with that. Oh, well, yeah. Now, who's the good writer?
I truly don't remember her name.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Lily. I'm like, have you read that
No.
thing her and John put out?
No.
That left, right of center.
I think she gave me a copy of it, but I don't know what happened to it.
Well, you open it up, it's like, see spot run. See. See.
No, I do. I think it's probably somewhere in my library. I don't know what I did with it.
Ugh.
I mean, it's, you know, no offense to any listening Satanists, but it's not my jam. So
He wasn't. He was like some reject from the Church of Satan that they didn't want, and decided to make his own little thing.
Well, no, I did. I met the both of them the year before he passed. I think it was that year, Witch's Ball.
He took up 2
Might
seats.
have been I think it was the year before he passed.
He had to buy 2 tickets just for him. Because you're taking up 2 fucking chairs, you son of a bitch.
No.
Just it's, I can't process the idea of her as an artist.
I remember when at the after party at Hex Fest.
Wait, this is my idea.
Dorsey was like, "I cannot believe it. You shut Christian Day up."
No. This
you
is
made him speechless.
This is what I think of when I see Shauna Oranite's art.
What is this? Naughty pie!
Oh my God.
Wait, once more.
What is this? Naughty pie!
Her art is Naughty Pine! With drugstore fucking nail polish on it. Oh. Ugh. She doesn't have talent.
Well, she's trying.
You know, when people used to try like that we'd put helmets on them, and they'd get this little drool cup. But no,
folks, this is a classic example of where I'm trying to see the good.
No, hold on.
He's
They'd get a
not having
helmet.
it.
They'd get a helmet, and they'd get this little drool cup, and we'd put them in a corner in a room, you know, and that would be Shauna. It's like, hi, honey, here's your crayons. We can't give you nail polish. You might drink it. I
wish I were actually watching to see the look on your face.
She might drink the nail polish. I'm just saying, I want to vote a hand. Does anybody think what she does is art? Look, I get it's subjective, but Jesus fucking Christ.
What I'm saying is, when somebody can apply themselves to something creative or more productive than hate brigade, listen. There's lots of that's not true. I don't really hate, but there's at least one person
don't tell me that lie. You don't
that
hate.
I do hate, that I just don't bother with, and I think I've got more of a reason to bother with them than you mentioned it earlier. You were told the story earlier.
I am a gossip
So,
show.
I mean,
This is my yayas, because, you know, my excuse for this show and gossiping and naming names and taking names and kicking ass is because they took Nene Leakes off of Real Housewives of Atlanta, and now I need to get my drama. I can't watch. Like, there's no one on that show, not even, I can't even remember her name, Kenya Moore. It's got to be Nene. With no Nene,
there's no show without Nene.
There's no Nene, there's no me.
I haven't watched it in a while, but
I must have.
And if you're going to compete with Wendy Williams, you have to have the shoe cam.
Right. No. I can't.
Or maybe have like, I don't know, a pointed hat cam or a wand cam or something.
I don't know. Well, the real kicker here is that we are exposing the exposers. If they want to create a culture of cancel, I'm going to create a culture of... She's going to have cancel culture. I got it too. We're going to have cackle culture.
Cackle culture.
We're going to be cackle culture. Because I'm not going to cancel anybody. I believe in redemption. I think everybody can become a better person. Even me.
Well, almost.
Even me. And, everyone can be a better person. But we're going to have cackle culture. Because you're going to cancel, we're going to cackle. And we're going to make fun of you. And we're going to find ways of exposing your peccadillos like we did earlier with Gaia on the phone. I don't think the ladies listening to this show tonight really appreciated, that Sophia Bowen,
No.
Yeah, sure. I can't
Oh,
wait.
no.
Oh,
I did catch that.
This
I
going to
caught it.
they're going to be getting back to that hoe. That hoe is going to be hearing about it. Well, you know what? We're going to have our cackle culture. Because I've had enough of this. I've had people come to me, Crystal. I know I don't ignore everything I should ignore, but I ignore most of it. Like, there's a lot of stuff
Yes,
I
you do.
ignore. But when I have people calling me crying and not eating for 4 days because somebody treated them so badly, no. We now have an issue.
All right.
Devin Hunter, he bullied me. I didn't bully him. Well, I sort of did. I mean, I did call when they were doing that whole thing against Yesha Matthews, and I said, if you persist in, I didn't mind that they hated her. I minded the way, I just told...
I like Yesha.
I just told somebody in a message earlier, I said it wasn't about what she was not guilty of. It was that they wanted to decide, they wanted to create this council of people that were better than the rest of us, who could represent the rest of us, who could decide the guilt or innocence of any of us, tell the rest of us we can shun this person and we can trust them, but not tell us what they've done, why or to whom, and we're just supposed to accept the guilt. I said to him, I will bring the power of my empire down upon this. I said, I will not, and if he feels, hey, I don't care. And I still will. Like, you want to create a star chamber type of process to this community, you'll answer to me. So if they don't like it, I don't care. They want me to answer to them. They seem to think we're all accountable to them. Well, let's talk about accountability. Let's see who wins that game. I guarantee it's me. So if for no other reason, then I will outlast everything else. Till I'm dead, then they can all cheer. I won't be here to know. I'll be off, in the Virgin Islands.
I think you'd be more dangerous.
Well,
are you kidding? Now you can haunt people.
or no. Here's the one.
The point is, in this whole wide, wicked world, the only thing you have to be afraid of is me.
I always miss the timing.
Yeah.
You
need to program that one with Bruno in there. Stick it in your butt.
No.
I remember when you played that for me.
In a minute.
That was wonderful.
Doesn't need a new Supreme. Needs a new rug.
Anyway, I'm running over. So, and I think Storm's on a reading.
Okay.
So I'm going to thank you, Crystal, for calling in. I'm going to put you, I think I can return you to the queue. That way you can still hear. And I want to thank you all. And I better get credit for that. Cackle culture is the new hashtag. Cackle culture. I want to see everybody hashtagging cackle culture over the next week. So hopefully we'll be back next Monday, though. I may move it to Wednesday. I don't really know. Storm says he can't do Monday because Monday is his big reading day, and I really want Storm to come in and do the forecasts of the astrology because he's so good at it. And I'm going to thank you all for joining in, and you all have a wonderful night. My name is Christian Day. Don't forget, WitchCon.com. We're capping it off at 1,000. So if they run out, you're not going to be there. Have a wonderful night, and I'm going to say goodnight.